Hey, we are back for the losers bracket final. This time between Lord-Triss and Wangid2021.
This is gonna be the ultimate mirror battle. I believe that both Lord-Triss and Wangid have quite similar lineups. There are some differences, definitely. We can jump into those, but yeah, lots of similarities too.
Let's get this here. We got Wangid's lists here. We got Tactical Decision, Aligned Pockets, Fruits of Yizgith, and Precision Strike. So while I believe Lord-Triss was on the plan of not bringing Precision Strike, we got Wangid on the P-Strike deck himself.
Yep, that seems to be the case. Yeah, should we start with the hyper thin list that we see here? Nearly identical to what Lord-Triss was playing. I believe the only difference here is Lord-Triss runs one Alzur's Thunder and runs a Diviner. Do you think that Wangid and Lord-Triss were preparing together, and then Lord-Triss was like, how do I one-up on Wangid? And he decided to play a Diviner to be able to purify potentially the defender in this mirror.
Potentially. Having two Alzur's Thunders is also pretty good against Wangid's lineup with the Precision Strike deck, right? Just having more ways to deal with Sorceresses and Elven Seers. So there's some give and take.
Definitely some give and take. But yeah, of course, Hyper Thin, just like we saw from Lord-Triss, a pretty strong blue coin deck. Ideally, I think it wants to go on that one. We'll see if we end up in any like mirror scenarios here. But definitely, usually a blue coin list. Now, you do play Defender. Both Lord-Triss and Wangid do play the Defenders to be able to protect any of these really tall, hyper-thin payoff cards behind the Defender, protect it from any tar removal, protect it from any poison, anything like that. And of course, it can guarantee you getting a Yennefer divination target, which might otherwise be difficult if your opponents can efficiently answer the Yennefer targets there.
Yeah, the Defender, definitely an interesting tech that I don't think I've ever seen out of Hyperthin, at least not recently, but seems to be doing very well in this tournament. Next up,
Wangid and Lord-Triss are definitely counting on it. But yeah, I was just going to mention that, of course, you cut the decree to be able to fit the defenders. So you sacrifice a little bit of consistency, but potentially higher payoff in terms of point.
Yep, we've got another Lined Pockets deck here for Wangid. We got double Freak Show, or double Bloody Good Friends and a Coerced Blacksmith as targets for the Novigradian Justice. Still playing the Graydon, Witchfinder, Professor. No Jacques in this list, which I believe was Lord-Triss playing, or was Necrotal playing? Lord-Triss was playing, right?
Lord playing it, yeah.
Yeah.
The Syndicate lists are different in that regard. I think the Graydon here, which isn't existent in Lord-Triss's lineup, is definitely nice into something like Hyper Thin if you can get through that Defender. Other than that, it'll be interesting to see if this version is going to get a little bit more value, or is it going to be the Shock that kind of benefits from a short round 3 and can maybe more freely spend Crown Splitter pockets and push. Of course, no Freak Show in Lord-Triss's deck, while of course Wangid still thinks it's a solid card to run. So there's a bit of a difference in that regard as well. Yeah. Let's move on to the Fruits of Yizgith deck. Now, this is the ultimate threat deck from Wangid. He plays threats upon threats upon threats, and we see the Cave Troll, the Defender. That definitely is a little bit annoying to remove for your opponent, making it even more threatening that you can place your Idarin potentially behind it, along with your Bloody Mistress, and so forth. Self-Eater potentially even. It's definitely very threatening list. It doesn't value control that much. I like the fact that Wangid has gone for the Parasite here instead of a Dorigary. Considering Dorigary being your only lock, it definitely is something that could get purified quite easily. So with Parasites, you're just going for solid points removal instead over the Dorigary. But other than that, Wangid is just focusing on doing with this list what Monsters does best, which is put points on the board.
Yeah, Parasite and Natural Selection both line up very well against some of the important threats against Scoia'tael, but Parasite can deal with the Donka, and then Natural Selection can deal with one of the bronze threats later on. Very surgical. The answers do what they need to do. They get through the Caress, they get through the Veil, and handle that matchup. And then lastly here for Wangid, we got his Precision Strike deck. Also an Alzur list here. This one not playing Royal Decree, instead just a Neuromancy and Isengrim's Council as the tutors of choice. Obviously only a Neuromancy able to pull the Alzur out of deck here. Isengrim Council mostly, let's see. It gets gored deterministically. There's how many Dryads? There's the 2 Sentinels, so it's probably not going to be played round 1 for Donka, as well as the Falve. And then a bunch of Elves, obviously, in the Bronzes and Simlas. So, the reliable target's the Gourd, but some other stuff going on as well. Yeah. Unlike Necrotal's list that we saw previously, this one is not playing Matic, instead just going for Nature's Rebukes for removal, has some Pacts and Dryad's Caresses to round out the Bronzes.
Yep, with the Force Protector there as well. Now, yeah, Alzur is a little bit risky to be running with only an Aeromancy as the only card that can tutor it, but we did see Necrotal's game where he runs all of these tutors and doesn't find them. So maybe Wangid doesn't want to pay for the tutors, or just says, I'm going to be skilled enough and draw them. Anyway, that's fine. So we'll see if that ends up paying off for Wangid.
Yeah, definitely don't want to spend provisions on cards that you're not going to draw.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's bring up Lord-Triss's lists again for a quick refresher. Fruits of Ysgith, Lined Pockets, Tactical Decision, and Reckless Flurry. No Scoia'tael in this lineup, instead opting for the Skellige. Yeah.
We'll see if Skellige is able to perform in this lineup in particular. But yeah, we can start with the Fruits of Ysgith here. There are some differences, of course. We don't see the Defender. Instead, we have, I believe, the Ratcatcheress, and then we also have the Parasite, as well as the Dorgary, kind of upgraded control there. A little bit more than what Wangid has, of course. I think we have seen these monsters list get banned, so I'm not sure we will be seeing that today from either Lord-Triss or Wangid. But yeah, just very solid point slammy list, as we all are familiar with at this point in the season.
Yeah, one of the most popular and most powerful decks of both ladder and tournaments. A common ban target throughout the weekend for sure. Now, the deck that we haven't seen a whole lot of in tournaments, as it's been banned out for most of the last few months, is Lined Pockets, but seeing that a lot more this weekend. Very similar list to... Well, no, this one's different. Yeah, the similar list to Necrotal, I think. Yeah, one Bloody Good Friends, one Chorus Blacksmith, no Graydon, as we had said previously, playing the Jacques. Does have two Sea Jackals.
The mirror is going to be good.
That was there.
Philippa there. It was there. Yeah, I think in that game, Lord-Triss should have just got the second proactive spender. It seemed a bit odd to go for the Fistic, but, well, there was a Sea Jackal. Anyway, yeah, it happened. So, Philippa here, of course, really nice card for the mirror. Decided to cut the Freak Show, which is quite interesting. Yeah, definitely an interesting one. Tavern Brawl instead, something Wangid has to keep a close eye on. Even if it is open deck list, you have to play around that one. Be a bit careful. So yeah, Syndicate lists are probably the most different ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and then we can move on to the Tactical Decision list, which is just like we mentioned. This one does run the Diviner instead of Double Thunder. We'll see if that tech choice ends up being the winning thing for Lord-Triss in a mirror scenario, potentially. But other than that, just a solid points list. You have your Dodric and your Snowdrop, both important cards to find to be able to make sure you thin perfectly. Yeah.
It is weird to me seeing this lineup cut one of the Alzur's Thunders from the list. From a lineup that looks like it's trying to be really good against Scoia'tael, as we had said before. Like, there's Gutting Slashes and Stunning Blow in the Flurry deck. There is an Alzur's Thunder in the Tactical Decision deck. We got Dip in the Pontars and Bloody Good Fun, as well as just a ton of removal in general in the Line Pockets deck. Playing Natural Selection and Parasite in the Fruits of Isgith deck. Yeah, I don't know. Seems like... I guess maybe Wanged lineup is also trying to do the same thing, but a bit surprised to see the hedge in that direction.
Definitely.
Yeah. Lastly, we got Reckless Flurry with a ton of Geralts. Axie, Rivia, and Quen. Tons of tall removal in general. Karathi, Heatwave, Morkvarg, Axie, Geralt. And then some good medium removal as well. The discard package combined with Leader can combine to deal like 4 or 5 damage to stuff. As we said, we got the Stunning Blow, we got the Gutting Slash. Potentially double Mardro. I don't think the 3 damage matters in any of these matchups, but it does come up sometimes. I've definitely Mardro'd my fair share of Whispers. You never want to do it, but gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
Yeah. If you get desperate enough, it's there for potential Whispers, which is definitely nice. And of course, the Ethereal Merchant. This is a lineup where this little card probably gets value if you end up queuing the Skelligolist into Wangid's Hyperthin, where you can definitely screw them over, meaning Wangid has to be a little bit careful not to thin 2-1 there. The Fury Merchant might definitely do some shenanigans. And just in general, I think this Reckless Flurry is heavily teched against something like Hyperthin with all the tall removal that Trinet did mention.
Yeah, for sure. Gonna be really hard to get through your Xerthisiuses and Yens through all the removal in this list. Like, Defender doesn't even matter. There's plenty of answers to that. The Axie, the Morkvarg, the Heatwave. Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see. Lord-Triss might really be happy about the Skellige deck in this one.
Indeed. We got the tournament
points?
match screen set up. We got 7 minutes and 47 seconds on the clock, so we should be getting started any second now.
Cool. And bans, I believe we have the Fruits of Isgith.
Oh yeah, it's just double monsters. Double monsters every time.
Definitely makes sense, as both players have been doing it throughout this weekend. Both kind of saying the strategy is ban monsters and try to be as good as possible against anything else.
Yeah, seeing a good amount of like soft targets on Squayatel, some text for Hyperthin as well. Oh, here we are. Let's get into the game here. Lord-Triss against Wangid2021. We got Lord-Triss with his tactical decision here on blue.
Yep. There we go, typical blue coin list to queue for this one. Wangid here responding with Syndicate. As we know, Wangid does play the Graydon, does play the Witchfinder, probably going to be quite decent into Lord-Triss's Hyperthin and all the tall units that come with that. But you do have to get through a Defender, potentially, to get some great Fistic value or to get some great Graydon value.
Yeah, there is the Purify in the Kurt in the list, right? There should be. There's a Graydon in the deck. Yeah.
There is a Kurt, absolutely. That might come in handy against the Defender, but you do have to find your answers.
True. That is always the hard part. Drawing your cards is one of the more difficult aspects of Gwent from time to time.
Definitely have to be very skilled in order to do that. Lord-Triss really nicely finding a soldier here. Yeah, for sure. Being able to thin out these Imperial Brigades is really nice for Lord-Triss here. Ideally, you do it in round 1. Also, having found both Dodric and Snowdrop, I think that's pretty skilled.
that is very skilled. Dodric.
It seems like Lord-Triss has refined those skills you were talking about.
Gotta do what you gotta do. It's not easy to qualify for an open. Getting this hard takes lots of effort, and if that effort happens to help you draw your cards, then that's what you gotta do. Does just run out the Dodric here, trying to fix his round 1 hand a bit.
And Wangid on the other hand, just getting that ship out, not committing too much. It is going to be very difficult to actually get round control over Hyperthin. I would say Syndicate in general is slightly unfavored in this matchup, but we'll see what happens if Wangid gets out of this one, doesn't spend too much, thins out his boat, hopefully has enough points, because Hyperthin sure has quite a lot.
Yep, let's see. Is Wangid gonna be playing here? It's taking a while.
You could potentially go for a Sea Jackal. That is definitely a pretty efficient round 1 spender. Not bad getting another card out of Lord-Triss if you want to, but committing these golds, I don't think that's something Wangid wants to be doing in round 1.
Yeah. The longer this round goes, the more Doedric gets to filter through the deck as well. Dead Man's Tongue comes out here. Fixes the deck a bit.
Great card to be playing around 1. Getting that thinning down and, you know, being able to thin as much as possible. Ideally having the Golem as the only card.
Perfect draw. Right to the bottom. Never gonna have to see that one again.
You're right where you want it to be in this deck. Alright, now let's see. Can Wangid play something like Fistics and maybe threaten winning the round? It's definitely really, really nice if Wangid is able to do something like that. Does he think, what if I can't answer the defender later and I should take my Fistic value where I get it? Also, Lord-Triss's Wonder is wondering, and maybe Wangid is hoping that Lord-Triss in that case does have to take a pass. He doesn't want to spend anything that's in his hand.
Yeah, true. The things, even with the Doedric, things do get awkward for the hyper-thin deck over time. There are cards you don't want to get out of your hand, but it does appear that Wang is just going to take the pass. Into round 2 we go. Yeah,
Syndicate definitely has a lot of power, and since Wangid didn't spend any of it round 1, he hopefully will have enough points. At least he's hoping for that. I think the Kurt definitely will be big in this matchup.
Yeah, Kurt being able to deal with that defender efficiently. Pretty big
Syndicate
deal.
in general as well is weak to these really big pushes, and Tactical Decision is one of those decks that can push really efficiently. It has a lot of tempo bleeds like the Snowdrop and your leader, and the Wonder coming out in round 2 is just so many points on the board. Syndicate takes a bit of time to actually set up its points that it will end up getting. So being able to tempo out something like Syndicate, and Syndicate having to go down 2 cards in answering the bleed, is actually...
Yep, well, here's the defender, and there's no Kurt in sight. Might just be eating the poisons.
Yeah, I don't think Lord-Triss would be unhappy about it. And if it eats the poisons, you're starting to worry a little bit. You don't really have an efficient spender. You have the Cleaver, but, you know, maybe Justice has to come out from Wangid.
True. Let's see.
To find a spender.
I was thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. He might also be waiting for the Wanderer to come out before playing those Fistics. Maybe the Wanderer will hit the front row, and you're able to be able to Fistic that.
Yeah, it would be a little bit better, as the Wanderer, if he's keeping track of it, knows that it's growing to 10 this turn. Here's the Justice.
Yeah.
Gets ahead. Pulls out that Bloody Good Friends. Gets a Spender. Not... It's a pretty awkward Spender with the armor on the Defender, but...
Yeah. It's something, but here we just see the big point Salam coming down from Snowdrop. Of course, using the Snowdrop first, hoping that there will be a couple more leader targets when Lord-Triss does decide to use that. But no leader just yet.
Yep.
Potentially wanting to just max it out.
Yeah, just delaying the Sunset Wanderers, I think. As we do see poison coming down.
So definitely a decent play there. And we're back over to Lord-Triss. Let's see if he decides to take the leader. Does he want to save this big Sunset Wanderer for later? Or is he saying, I haven't got enough from Wangid yet? Okay.
Just takes the Vilgefortz. I'm a little surprised by that.
Wow. Definitely.
Finds his last leader target as well. 1331.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not a bad leader if you want to play it out with the Snowdrop. But you have to be a little bit wary. The Graydon can remove anything at all.
Still having that Spender is a little unfortunate for Lord-Triss here. Second Fizztech gonna come down, take that out. Still on 9 coins, gonna pull back the Flying Redinian.
Yeah. But either way, if you're gonna Vilgefortz, you definitely might risk a Spender coming out there.
Yeah. Here's the leader.
It's just such good value with Snowdrop, so being able to tempo here is not bad at all.
Yep. All the Afons and Mage Assassin. Nope. Just has to keep one for the Blightmaker later on. Sure.
Yeah. That kind of indicates that Lord-Triss is about to leave the round after this big ol' tempo pass. Wait, we're going for the Triss that is definitely not really guaranteed, just hoping that he could hit the Golem so that he can kill the Crown Splitter there, but not a great Triss.
Yeah, I don't think you're very happy about that. I don't know what the odds were there. There's still a Zarthan deck, too.
Yeah, you'd think that you'd rather save this Triss removal for the Witchfinder, or Cleaver, or Drill. There's definitely some stuff you need to remove in this matchup, unless you're determined to go for a 2-0 here, but...
I feel like if you're gonna play something here, I would want to go, like, pull all of the Mage Assassins with the Warbrand, and then just use Blightmaker to put, like, Zarth on top of your deck and make a Golem.
Yeah.
Maybe he's... I guess you gotta be worried about, like, Yen having a target in round 3.
Fair.
And Blightmaker, make sure that you have 3 bodies. But, yeah, things are looking pretty good, though. Big points gap.
Yeah. This should be a pass from Lord-Triss. Now, the Graydon is definitely a threatening card coming down on that Snowdrop. Very nice for Wangid, though, in terms of tempo. Yeah.
17 here. And then we got the Bloody Good Friends to clean up.
This is not bad at all for Wangid. Being able to save that Cleaver, hoping to find Drill, while Lord-Triss did pay some of these hyper-thin payoff cards like Vilgefortz and Triss in round 2, having the Yen and the Zarth left for payoff.
And then, obviously, bodies available through this Blightmaker as well.
Yeah. Putting the Mage Assassin back into the deck. And there's a Tortoise as well.
It's this last card.
And it's a Divider.
There we go.
The Divider that could potentially clean up a poison or a bounty doesn't seem to actually get that value in this matchup.
It has Assimilate. Does that? No, that doesn't matter at all. Well,
no, I don't think that Divider is just sad. While Wangid, on the other hand, has really found just a great amount of cards here. Everything he's looking for, I believe.
Yeah, so...
Maybe some coin generation could be nice, and the bounty with Kurt.
Huh. Okay, so even if you kill all of the things that Blightmaker spawns with Tunnel Drill, there's no tar removal for the Zarth anyway, so again, it'll always have a target in that. You can always just boost up your Tar unit. So,
you're completely right about that.
Shouldn't be an issue. So
this Diviner, though, is... Yeah. Though, this Diviner is just such a good Professor target as well, and now with Wangid missing out on the Kurt, it really does absolutely nothing at all. Definitely not ideal here.
For sure. Yeah. But, yeah, it doesn't look like the game's gonna get cheesed out by anything silly like that, by, like, breaking the Triss, but just gonna be come down to whether or not Wangid's gonna have the points to compete with the big hyper-thin payoffs. There are some clunkers in Lord-Triss's hand.
Payoffs. Yeah, the Heat Wave. I don't know about that one. Coming down on the Cleaver, potentially. Coming down on the...
Yeah, the Heat Wave's not great. The Tortoise isn't great. The Diviner's not great.
But is the chunky Zarthisi is going to be enough here? It definitely is going to be very, 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 very small.
It's going to be a lot. Zarth's coming down for what, 17 on the Imperial Golem?
Yeah.
Makes up the points immediately.
It sure does. However, in terms of sequencing, you don't really want to play out this Heat Wave because you know there's a Tunnel Drill that's a bit more important to get rid of in this matchup. The Diviner, of course, not too happy either. Alright, just taking the Yen. There's a target here. So, Lord-Triss just grabbing it, looking for a better Heat Wave. Maybe keeping the Diviner, thinking he can purify a bounty from Kurt.
Yeah, Could be something that he's considering. Most likely just going to end up purifying a shield, I think, given the state of the hands.
Yeah, that is a sad diviner right there. A little bit better in round 2 for potentially.
Yeah. Pontar comes down there. Wangid deciding he does not want to spend the coins on the cleaver there as it gets heat waved. Better to spend on the drill.
I think the sequencing from here on out should be the drill is coming down. There's nothing really to threaten it or remove it because Wangid, of course, did see both the Triss as well as the Vilgefortz, so it's a very safe drill here.
Yeah, Wangid is playing with public information here. Knows the card in deck is Golem, knows the graveyard. I guess doesn't technically know what was banished with Dead Man's Tongue, but...
And assume it's definitely not a Thunder sitting there in deck, so...
Yeah.
It's safe to say. Seeing the Yen showing you the Golem, so no bricks there. Alright, here comes the Sarth.
Up to 17.
Yeah. Okay, so Tunnel Drill will get the best possible value now. And, but, yeah, Lord-Triss just wants to play around the Kurt, which is why he's keeping that Diviner. It does make sense. And, you haven't seen Professor yet, so you can't just go ahead and play it either. It's definitely a bit rough here.
You can just play Drill, sit on it, right? And then force Lord-Triss to play Diviner next. That way
there's
you don't
nothing
get
to remove the Drill.
Yeah.
Nothing left. And Wangid knows it. So, yeah.
Yep.
Drill probably coming out, chilling, not doing anything yet.
Yep. Just set up to pair with the Professor if for some reason the Tortoise were to come out this turn, but I don't think it will. I think we're just going to see the Diviner.
Alright. Wangid really nicely being able to defend the bleed. Diviner on the shield! I think you're a bit of a diviner yourself, predicting the future.
I try.
Impressive.
Okay, so Professor Tunnel Drill. 2 leader charges, 7 coins effectively in the bank.
That is a couple of points right there. There we go.
There that goes. There's the drill, and yeah, I mean, there's 7 points for Lord-Triss, but...
Not gonna be enough. Not gonna be enough. So, I mean, Wangid really efficiently being able to defend the bleed came in quite clutch there with both the the grade and just being such a huge point swing. Maybe this is the matchup for why Wangid is going to play the Graydon and going to play the Witchfinder, because he just thinks it's such good value against anything tall, and it really was in this one.
Yeah.
I feel like Lord-Triss could have maybe tempoed ahead a little bit faster, but there was definitely things to be considerate about there with the Fist Sticks and with the Graydon, so it's a really tough call, but yeah.
Let's see what's in these
Wangid
cakes.
drew enough cards. Has to believe.
No, take the Bloody Good Friends!
The Spear! Why the Spear? It's gonna be Irish.
It's fine. Keldar's respectable.
Kelder is respectable. Irish.
Can't believe they took Mastercrafted Spear.
Very nice art.
What was that?
He wants to show it some love. I can respect that. A Mastercrafted Spear, definitely not a card.
New players watch these tournaments. What kind of example are you setting for them? What if they take Mastercrafted Spear because of you? Do you want that on your hands?
I think it's only fair to show the Mastercrafted Spear a little bit of love. It definitely has not been played for such a long time.
It deserves it!
Poor Mastercrafted
No,
Spear.
not poor Mastercrafted Spear. It deserves it.
Oh no. Ay. No love for the Spear from trying it.
Too many games. Still traumatized.
Oh no. Is it like unitless throwback?
It was like 8 months with Mastercrafted Spears. Wasn't just unitless, trust me.
Alright, well, now the coins are flipped, meaning Wang ID also wants to bring his Hyperthin list on blue coin. It is kind of designed to do exactly that. Now, Wang ID has not been able to find either Dodric or Snowdrop just yet, and look at Lord-Triss's hand. There's the Fury Merchant tech right there. Sitting right there, ready to get rid of a golem if Wang ID is not careful with his
I
thinning
really
here.
want to see it work. I really want to see it work. It's open deck list, so I suspect it won't, but I really want to see it work.
Wangid can play around the Fury Merchant, of course, by, you know, with your leader, you can put something on top, and you can put, like, a tortoise. You have a couple of off targets with the tortoises, and I believe the Nilfgaardian Knight as well.
Yeah, now, notably, even playing around it, you are making your deck worse, right? Like, it's not free to play around it by any means, but... Yeah, so Wangid not
free to play around.
Yeah, not having the Dodric in round 1, but having a couple other nice round 1 tools. Has the Blightmaker, has the Dead Man's Tongue. Doesn't have a soldier for the Impera Brigade, unfortunately, but...
Also, immediately giving Lord-Triss some tall removal value if he so wants to take it because of the lack of proactive plays here. Is a little bit rough.
Lord-Triss's deck at no shortage of tall removal options. Playing all the Geralts, Heatwave, and Morkvarg. Very, very aggressive. There's the Blightmaker coming down, 6-22. Is Avalok going to be the answer here for Lord-Triss? Applying some weather to probably the back row. Leave open the threat of the tall removal on the 13.
Yep, no reducing that tall removal value, because now it's a matchup where you finally get it. This Skellige list should be quite nicely teched for the NG Hyperthin. Of course, the Imperial Brigades would be really nice to thin out for Wang Idea, but this hand state is not saying soldiers other than a Fawn and Defender. Both plays that you might not want to play around 1. We'll see if their Defender actually ends up coming down to kind of protect a tall unit, and just so that you can thin your Imperial Brigades.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Just expect the Defender to not be getting value later on, so just run it out now for some thinning. I don't hate it.
Considering there's a Mork and an Axie, it's not a card that's going to be great here. And at some point, potentially gets answered.
Yeah. Well, he's roping it down. Just going to play the Owl's Thunder here, taking it a little slower. Could potentially just be planning to pass on 7 as well. The hand does run out of things to do pretty quick.
Yeah, Wang ID's hand state here definitely does say that you might want to pass. And then defend the bleed. Hopefully, you're looking to find a couple of those key cards, Dodric and Snowdrop. Yeah, here's the Heatwave. Lord-Triss saying, no, you're not taking the pass. Ay.
Well, we're gonna see Defender come out here. That's... Ugh.
I don't know. Will we see the Defender come out?
Yeah, it's the Defender.
Huh? Just a thin.
Yep.
Respectable.
It's a Frost too, right?
Yeah, tanking some of that Frost damage.
So you can still play the Impera Brigade, and then if you get a pass after that, the Sunset Wanderers won't come out, but... Yeah, no way to manipulate the hand aside from leader here is sort of awkward.
And 2 leader targets, though, in hand. But ideally, you want to play them in combination with something like Snowdrop, just for maximum value. Here comes the Morkvarg that we were talking about. Definitely an efficient answer for a Defender. Lord-Triss definitely saying, nope, you're not passing. Not allowed.
Still keeping those Impera Brigades denied as well to prevent some of that thinning as well. 12-3. Ew.
Is this gonna have to be a pass from Wang Idea? It looks like it, honestly.
Pass or leader, right?
Yeah, it's one of the two. Pass or leader. Lord-Triss is saying you shall not pass, and Wangid is saying, wait, I mean, I guess I have to.
There's the leader. He does not want to lose on even. Okay, picking up 3 cards.
Never mind. Yeah.
Let's see. We get to put back the Afon to get a soldier. Put back the Mage Assassin for some points.
and probably a hyper thin payoff card here, such as Sarth or Velgefortz. But we did see the Tortoise instead. The Tortoise probably goes back again to play around the Fury Merchant, because you kind of need to be wary of, you know, you want to have those off targets in your deck. So keeping the Tortoise could definitely be a little bit scary.
Indeed.
Do you think Lord-Triss is saying, all right, I saw your leader. I don't think I need to bleed any further or push you any further.
Yeah, I mean, 2 tall removals have been expended, but there is still the Vanilla Geralt. Is that it? There are 3 or 4 tall removals in this list. I know there's a lot.
There is still the Vanilla Geralt.
Okay,
yep.
Yeah, just Vanilla Geralt. Okay. So...
Yeah, we saw that. Yeah. Oh, Axie, right? Yeah, we still have Axie.
Right. Yep. There we go. Yeah, Heatwave, Vanilla Geralt, Morkvarg, Axie.
That is a lot of tall removal.
Way more than I'm used to seeing in deck lists. As a Raging Bear comes down, takes the armor off the Morkvarg, staying in the round, but not staying ahead. Back over to Wangid, deciding to just take the pass here, as the dog comes out, potentially screws up some math.
Wow, this is actually quite decent. How does the Lord-Triss take this in the most efficient way?
Well,
it looks like you have to go, oh my goodness, is this Berta going to give him any discard targets?
Nope.
Nope.
Well,
oh,
it's Berta and 2 charges, right? Ugh.
Yeah. 2 charges. Yeah, considering you have a lot of those discard targets that you might stumble upon later, and then you only have, I believe, Coral and one Scald to try and get rid of them. Plus, you have the Morkvarg as well. And double Skirm to discard.
Yeah, the deck situation definitely got a little awkward there for Lord-Triss, for sure. Really solid passes from Wangid.
Yeah, that pass definitely paying off. You did trade your leader, but considering what Lord-Triss had to play there, I guess he wasn't really the best voice.
No!
I think it's fair to bullet it because Wangid should always be
exactly. The threat's just so much stronger than actually executing on the threat.
To be fair, now Wangid has played his leader, with which he can put something on the top that he does not want. To get a Fury Merchant, you could still hit like a 50-50 or something later on with a Fury Merchant. Although it might be really slow tempo here in a round 2 situations, you might just want to get it back in round 3.
Yep. Well, Lord-Triss gonna run out the Heron Kaduk, make the Quartermaster here.
Proactive plays are not to be found, so you have to opt for this one.
Yeah, it is one of the problems with playing a deck with 4 tall removals in it, is sometimes you need to make plays that aren't removal. And Kaduk does have the versatility.
Yeah, Lord-Triss does see the soldier there, the Tortoise in deck, saying he's kind of happy probably about the mulligan on the Fury Merchant now.
Yep. So we got what? Axie in the Quen, with both Bear Witchers in the hand.
Or Geralt, Vanilla Geralt.
Right, there's that one too.
There's that one too. And Totem is a pretty big pull here from the Coral.
Yeah, Totem getting picked up, pretty nice.
Yeah, Lord-Triss definitely has to play here, because despite the tall removal, I think it's going to be very tough trying to find the points in round 3. You know, with the Snowdrop, the Wanderer still existing, getting the Wanderer out is definitely nice, and now being able to Axie it potentially.
Or Vanilla Geralt it.
Or Geralt it. The Axie, of course, has a little bit more base power, but it might be something, depends on how far you want to push here.
Vanilla Geralt probably gets more value later on, would be the reason to play it, but...
This is gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah, the totem there staying ahead by a point.
Of course, Lord-Triss having to spend these leader charges becomes really big in round 3, where a lot of the time I feel like Skellige Flurry can definitely utilize their leader charges to try and remove those Yennefer targets. Especially that you saw the defender in round 1 from Wangid. It's a strategy that is very nice for Skellige Flurry to do, but now that you've spent 2 leader charges, the Yen is kind of decent in terms of getting value, but we do see Yen here kind of just taking it when you're sure that there is a target. Not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, in round 3 you're only going to have 1 card in deck, which does get a Fury Merchanted every time, so
yeah,
pretty important that you want to do this now rather than later.
And if you win this round as Wangid, you do get to take the proactive play, so you can take your Sarthisius as the last Hyperthen payoff card and make sure that you just get the value there. Of course, then it might give Vanilla Geralt. Yeah.
But yeah, Lord-Triss continues the push, continuing to stay ahead, 21 to 19. Bride of the Sea, Bear Witcher, and Gwen as remaining cards. Gwen, of course, able to get either Vanilla Geralt or Axii out of the deck. 1 leader charge remaining. Wangid going to play his Snowdrop. Finds Imperial Golem, Alzur's Thunder.
Yeah, let's see which ones are going back into the deck here. Could be the Tortoise and the Golem for now. The Dodric, of course, helps you kind of flip those draws around later.
Decides to keep the Tortoise in hand.
Putting the Sarth back. Yeah. No, never mind. What was put back here?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah. Missed that one for some reason. But yeah, the Tortoise was kept. Tortoise was kept there. Oh, Dodric. Dodric was put
right.
back.
That makes a lot of sense. It's just a bigger body.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you don't really need it to fix up anything here. As we can see, Wangid is just going to find everything except for 1 card in round 3.
Yep. So what we got? Dodric, Golem. Are there any? There's no more Hyperthen payoffs, right? Those have all been played. There's the Vilga, the Triss, the Yen.
Yeah. So here is the Axii for just the max points, really. The Axii is the bigger body here, and just a really great target here on the Wonder, of course. Now, Lord-Triss has also enabled the Bride of the Sea on one of those shields. I believe there was have we seen Mardrums being discarded? I think so with the Birna, right?
I think both of them might have gotten discarded with the Birna.
I think so. Yeah. So that means the value here from Lord-Triss is definitely not bad. We'll see when that comes down. Probably first we see this Bear Witcher here. It does make sense. The Vilgeforts can definitely answer something tall here.
28 to 13. What happened? I guess Axii happened, but
yeah.
Yikes.
Axii got some solid value here. Is this where Lord-Triss's tall removal techs are really going to pay off? I mean, it is the matchup to beat, honestly.
This is
very, very teched against this.
Yeah, very teched against this. Very teched against the Scoia'tael deck. There's a couple decks that look like they're going to be difficult for Wangid to get through.
Okay, and here, Lord-Triss is definitely just deciding to go for all the payoff. Why not play this Bride of the Sea while the shields are on the board? It's a lot worse in round 3 if you don't take it here. Also using all the heal value and all the leader charges, saying, okay, you played around the Fury Merchant, maybe your Hyperthen cards will low roll now, which, yeah. This Vilgeforce, however, should be enough point. It can pull an 8.
It can pull... So if it pulls an 8, it's playing for 12. It needs to pull Golem.
It needs to pull Golem to be fine here. So you could low roll the Vilgeforts. And if you roll your Golem out here...
Huh.
I'm thinking, can you go offensive?
No.
Yeah. Low roll. Okay, yeah.
Just needed to hit the Golem one of those times to get to round 3.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure
on
that would have
any
been
of the
enough,
hyper thin
but
payoff cards.
yeah.
Yeah, it would have certainly helped. I mean, considering the golem pull there makes your stars worse. Maybe it's not the end of the world. Maybe you still have enough points in a short round 3 if you're Wangid, if you make it out of that sticky situation. But yeah, the Fury Merchant just showed us the fact that it was in Lord-Triss's deck. Wangid had to play around it, and of course then ended up...
How many kegs is this? It's like the 4th keg. We're opening so many kegs. 5 kegs?
Shoop is working hard today. It's Sunday, but Shoop is not resting.
Spoil us. Oh my god. Why do you take the worst card every time? Black Blood? First you take Mastercrafted Spear, and now you take Black Blood? Are you trying to traumatize us?
Oh, poor Trident. Clearly there's some trauma that he has not dealt with. Uh-oh.
Well, into game 3 we go.
Issues here with some of these cards. Artifacts seem to be a bit of a...
Just a bit of a sore spot. It's fine. It's fine.
It's okay.
It's been a while. They're repressed memories at this point. As long as we're not taking summoning circles, I think I can handle it.
Okay, this is how we're introducing you to the artifact cards, and Snake is doing it, you know, slowly but surely.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, so circles
It's
next.
an intervention.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Alright, we are moving on to Lord-Triss versus Wangid. Lord-Triss, of course, again on blue coin. Easy queue order here. Just take the hyper thin list. It's definitely something you want to play on blue coin. Kind of intended to be the blue coin list in this lineup. While Wangid is going for a Scoia'tael on red.
Yeah, so in Wangid's list, there were 2 Alzur's Thunders. Here, Lord-Triss has 1 Diviner and 1 Thunder. I'm getting punished a little bit there, as Diviner's not doing a whole lot in this matchup, where second Thunder would be real nice to have.
Yeah, we'll see if Wangid is actually able to find the Necromancy, the only way of tutoring the Alzur. So far, we have not seen it.
No, players aren't allowed to draw Necromancy. It's the text on the card. You just have to read it really carefully.
Scoia'tael players, especially. Alright.
Yep.
Here is the Dunka, but the Thunder value looks really nice here.
Yeah, it's a very easy Thunder. If you don't Thunder the Dunka, you're not going to be able to Thunder anything else later. So the Dunka grows the stuff out of removal range. But yeah, so far Lord-Triss has gotten one of his thinning out with the Impera Brigade. Made a trade of Thunder for Dunka hand buff going on the Forest Protector. Not the most relevant, but I'm not sure if any of the buffs really matter at this point anyway.
Yeah.
With the single Thunder gone. So maybe just points on Forest Protector or Gourd is all that he really wants.
Definitely not a bad pull. Alright, Impera Brigades really nicely thinned here from Lord-Triss. Of course, we can see that there's a Dodric as well as the DMT in round 1. All really nice cards to have here. Putting Tempo on the board. I mean, for Wangid, it's going to be a little bit scary. I feel like you do want to have round control, but judging from the point state, it's looking rough. You don't have access to your Stimla, so you can't just go for a big point play either. Ideally, you want to set up orbs, but Wangid can't do that. It's just not possible.
Yeah, no orbs at hand, no Simlas, no a Necromancy to even a Necromancy for an orb.
Yeah. If you want to play here, you just play as long as you have a reach. But
we're quickly approaching the point where we no longer have reach.
Yeah.
Right now, the Sage represents a good amount of points. Maybe you can play a Seer here? Seer double tempering?
Seer, yeah.
It's what, 14, 20? No, I guess that would be short too.
Which is why Wangid then does take the pass here. Now Lord-Triss is in a pretty nice spot here. Let's see what he chooses to do. He could go long round, considering Wangid has literally not set up any orb carryover, nothing. nothing of the sort. Or you could just do a little bit of a value bleed and just get your tempo points on the board. You found your Snowdrop plus leaders, a lot DMT is nice to get out there just to thin even more.
Yep. So Wangid choosing to mulligan the orb, wants to leave those in deck, presumably for some lost targets.
Yep. And Dunka here can tutor out the Isengrim's Council, but no Aneromancy to be found just yet.
Yeah, no wacky Alzer stuff happening yet.
Yeah. Maybe in round 3.
Maybe in round 3. Here's the Sorceress coming down for Wangid.
Okay, and here is the DMT. Let's see here if Lord-Triss is just going to be happy with this thinning and kind of leave the round after it. Could be a potential play.
Yeah, potentially. What is this? Just getting rid of... I don't know what that was getting rid of.
Bronze
Probably...
there. Yeah.
Like, jousts are sort of nice to have access to in the matchup. I don't know if he got rid of the tortoise or got rid of one of the jousts.
You could get rid of the tortoise here and probably one of the jousts, yeah, because you don't really need to worry about having like an off target for your hyper thin payoff. You can just be happy with getting rid of that tortoise.
Mm-hmm.
Getting rid of units is nice when you want to find your golem.
Yep. Well, here is the seer. We got temperings coming down. Tempering on the seer, then copies the tempering on to the sorceress. And yeah, Lord-Triss has had enough.
Definitely nice getting out your thinning, getting ready for round 3. Again, Wangid has kind of a...
Come the orbs.
Does have the orbs coming out here with Simless. It is nice to play it just because it is thinning.
Oh, yeah. This'll help
and
him
it's
find
setting
the
up the orb chain for the Alzer that you want to find.
See if he can find it.
But Wangid is taking a risk here. He's not running Decree, which is kind of really hoping to find the Aneromancy. So, bit risky.
10 cards in deck. Packed. Hey, Aneromancy.
There it is.
Ooh, Sentinel. Ooh.
And,
Ooh.
of course, mulliganing away those bricks, yeah.
Okay.
Don't want to look at those.
Is that,
okay, so if you have a fob target... You might have to mulligan it away if you don't have a fob target. If you have anything on fob, I think you're happy with this hand. I'm not sure you really want to find anything here.
Yeah, it's hard to say without being able to look at the decks.
Yeah. You could brick your Sentinel if you do end up taking
like
another mulligan.
Probably was bricked, but finds the pact.
Yeah.
Saved.
No worry.
Yeah, you don't want to draw Alzer there either. Drawing Alzer or Sentinel would be unfortunate.
Yeah, so I believe there is a heat wave that Wangid is missing.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a heat wave, which actually is quite big in this matchup. Of course, the defender probably would eat up the heat wave unless you can remove it with a bomb. You could move the defender, but
this pulls the orbs, right? No, oh, okay, no, never mind.
Yeah, one more special, we're gonna see.
I was really scared for a second there.
Oh. Alzer is gonna come down next from Wangid. Let's see what it pulls, because the orbs will, of course, trigger after that.
Yep. Let's see what 6s we're gonna be getting. Hopefully no Were-Rat plus Sabrinas. That would be...
That would be very unfortunate.
As much as I would like to see it again, I wouldn't wish it upon anybody.
Yeah. Totally agree. But yeah, no heat wave. Lord-Triss is going to be playing so many tall units here.
Yep.
Missing out on the heat wave is not nice. Yep. Protecting something like Snowdrop, Dodek.
Here we go. Aneromancy. Play it.
Yeah, we're going to see it. Yeah, to trigger them. So,
We could have maybe seen the seer come down first, potentially, but this is...
Yeah, if we want to maximize the orb value, it's definitely a play. but Wang ID is happy just getting a bronze
Berengar.
special. Oh no! The Berengar is gonna die if there is no Witcher on the board there.
Oh wait, is that up?
The Berengar is
It's
so
not on
sad
deploy?
because
It's on turn ends?
yeah, it's a 0 play. Unless there is a Witcher that you could roll here. You could roll a Mentor, right? Yeah, there goes the Berengar. Still decent value Alzer, but not really what you want to see.
So what, 19 on the Alzer?
Yeah.
12, wait. No, 12 plus 4, 16? Ugh.
Right, yeah, still
Could be
decent, but could be better, could be worse, could be better.
I thought the Berengar was a high. I was so sure Berengar was a high roll.
Oh, I've played a lot of Alzer this season, and I know that Berengar is not a high roll.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep,
Let's see
Dodric
here.
protected here for Lord-Triss. Gonna play real nice with a Snowdrop. I don't think, yeah, nothing's gonna be taking these out. No lacerates in the list for Wangid either to punish for row stacking behind the defender.
Yeah, you can really go full on max value on this Wanderer. One idea, playing out this Rebuke, being able to deal with the defender with the Forest Protector later, but it definitely proves quite valuable, eating up a lot of armor there, so the removal isn't ideal. But yeah, no Heat Wave for Wang Idea is big.
Yeah.
Of course, Lord-Triss doesn't know that, so he might be wanting to play around that for as long as he can.
For sure. Looks like Snowdrop's gonna come out here just to get that engine with the Dodric online as quick as possible. Also just continue delaying the Sunset Wanderers for as long as we can.
Yeah, let's see, is the Snowdrop gonna come down before the leader? I'm assuming so, trying to maybe find some leader targets, but I don't know, the rope is scary to me. You have to do it quite fast.
Have the leader targets, right? We just like have everything
Alright,
guaranteed.
we do have it. You're right. Never mind that.
Yeah.
So the leader comes down first, just being able, Snowdrop can put whatever unwanted stuff you get there from the leader back into the deck.
Yep. So top card is going to be Tourney Joust, and then the card under it is
are we roping?
Golem. It could be a problem if this ropes. Looks like we're fine. We
Okay,
put back Golem
we're
and
fine.
Joust, I think.
Yeah, looks like it's fine. So Golem and Joust should be in the deck right now, which means,
Did we rope the Dodric away? Did we not get our Dodric value?
I think so. The Dodric was roped there, and here comes the Forest Protector, presumably getting rid of this defender right here.
It's so sad for how much control there is over the deck that the decision got roped. It's like,
Yeah.
it was all so irrelevant.
Definitely the turn you play Snowdrop and your leader, you have to do it very fast because the rope is real. But, yeah, again, no Heat Wave here to get rid of this giant Snowdrop. She can keep on growing.
Somebody's had enough.
Okay, yeah. Kind of realizing that it just is game over at this point. I mean, this is a matchup that they have been playing multiple times, and Wang Idea knows exactly the cards that Hyperthin has, and you can see exactly the cards that are in deck. So just knowing that you don't have a Heat Wave, and you're very limited to what you can do there, it's respectable to take the pass and say, all right, we're gonna play the next one as soon as possible.
Okay, Waylay in Keg 1, that's respectable. Some people just want to play their fun Waylay decks.
I like that one. It's a really, really cool deck.
Tangentially an artifact card, but I'll accept it.
Okay.
More kegs.
So many kegs are getting spoiled today, chat.
Battering ram? That used to be artifact removal. Don't do it! Don't do it! Okay. There we go.
Don't worry, we didn't get the crushing trap.
For once.
But
yeah, so Lord-Triss with Lined Pockets is his only remaining deck. Wang had got to get through Tactical Decision and Precision Strike.
presumably we are going to see the blue coin deck here, Hyper Thin from Wangid.
Yep. We saw this matchup earlier in the series from the other side. Pretty similar-ish lists, but Syndicate was able to pop out on top.
The thing with Lord-Triss's list is that he doesn't have a Graydon and Witchfinder, which is not ideal when you're playing against the Hyper Thin that, of course, does go very tall multiple times.
Yeah, what is it, Philippa instead? Philippa probably not at its best here.
No, Philippa is not a card that will get a lot of value in this matchup. Unless you can get like a Dodric, I guess that would be your best target. Any engine is what you want to find.
It's a defender too, I guess.
Yeah, the defender is something.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to deal with it if you want to use your drill on stuff. But yeah, Wangid just gonna lead on the Tortoise here, set up for those Impera Brigades on the following turn. Also has the Dead Man's Tongue. Pretty good round 1 hand available.
Yep. Thinning is winning, especially for Hyper Thin. That really just gets all the payoff if they manage to thin efficiently.
Yep.
Let's see here what Lord-Triss can play. Going for the Slander, hoping to get rid of that Dodric. Are we going to see a defender here come in as a defense play from Wangid?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Lord-Triss really not wanting this Dodric to be getting any value. Or getting too much value.
Yeah, it's definitely a threatening play here. Wangid might have to play out that defender, which is a really valuable card in this matchup, protecting your units from drill. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, so if Lord-Triss wants to cash out this bounty on the Dodric, what are his options? He can play the Whoreson and click it. That'll get the bounty coins. Are there 2 poisons available? It's a little slow. You'd much rather take care of it quickly to deny him more of the clicks on the card.
You have the Bloody Good Fun.
Is there a Bloody Good Fun in hand? That could work.
Yeah.
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 So it goes for the Dead Man's Tongue onto the Dodric.
Now,
to try to deny the bounty
cash solid fist deck value here.
Ooh, chose to not click on the Dodric.
Yeah. Wonder if that was intentional or not.
Yeah.
Alright, and we are back to Wangid.
Back over to Wangid. Got a Thunder to deal with the Spender if you want to take that, but nope, just gonna use the Impera Brigade. Yeah, I gotta imagine that was a mistake if we're clicking on it this turn.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what you want to put back here. You want to go for the Thunder? Do you want to go for the...
Well, the Blightmaker is really nice to have. Just another solid round 1 thinning play.
Might just have to be the Thunder. Yep. There he goes.
Thunder gets tucked back. 9-36, and yeah, Lord-Triss not playing into this.
No, either you play
your dog
or not. Oh,
what are you doing?
Boy. Not yet.
Now is not the time. You behaved so well earlier.
Happy about it a bit earlier in the Skellige matchup, but not so happy about it right now. Okay, this Tavern Brawl is going to be interesting. Like, potentially, if you can drill some small units, you could be able to set up, like, 2 very tall units next to each other. Depends a bit on, like, Wonder. Depends a bit on how much Wangid can play around it. But the Tavern Brawl, I'm really curious to see what type of value it's going to get in this.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what Wangid wants to do into this round, too. Probably gonna lead on the Nilf Knights. Yep.
Nice proactive play there.
Back over to Lord-Triss. Got some Pontars, develop some coins, potentially.
Yeah. It is slow, though, considering you have to be scared of the Snowdrop play coming in hot at some point. So, yeah, Lord-Triss is respecting this bleed because, Syndicate going down 2 cards here and defending the bleed is really not ideal. And you want to put points on the board, so this shock is just going to have to come down here from Lord-Triss. Considering you're missing Cleaver as well, and no Furco into a Justice.
Yeah,
the shock makes a lot of sense.
if you know your opponent has to bleed to be able to win the matchup, then it doesn't feel as bad making these types of trades while above 7 cards in rounds 2. You just know that there's very little chance that the opponent's not going to be playing below 6, so just getting those points in is good enough.
Alright. Going for the smuggle and playing around the thunder there by boosting the shock back to a 6.
Yep. Wanderers continues to wander up to 9.
Yeah,
Defender, Snowdrop, a Fawn. No Mage Assassin in hand yet for the leader.
Not yet, but if you wanted to, you could play your Snowdrop and see what you find and then go for the leader. It definitely is a card that probably is going to come down here from Wangid in round 2. Well, not yet at least.
Yeah, deciding to pull the Wanderers first.
Maybe hoping to find a leader target there to get better Snowdrop value, saying that, there's some kind of a tall removal anyway. So if you take it on this Wonder, maybe that is fine. We see like a Fistic coming down here on a 9-point Wonder. You're not too unhappy about that.
Yeah, better odds of finding the Mage Assassin for sure. I guess the deck being in a fail state where you just like end up stuck with a Mage Assassin in your deck is kind of the worst case scenario. Your hyper thin payoffs aren't reliable. They're rolling between whatever bronze you decide to leave in plus the golem rather than just the golem. And you probably have like a Mage Assassin you have to play from your hand in round 3. It's just a bit of a mess.
Let's see what Wangid intends on doing. It might be nice to play out the defender after you see a bounty or a poison. And maybe you don't really want to give the Philippa either on the defender just yet. Yeah. Considering that kind of screws up your Velgafords or your Triss. We can see Triss here in hand. And your Heatwave, of course.
Yeah. Heatwave, not looking great right now, but maybe Lord-Triss will spend tall on the Jacques at some point. But yeah, just gonna run out the defender for Wangid there. 18 to 38, and Philippa is gonna come down and just yoink that over to Lord-Triss' side of the board. Does not want to have to worry about that.
If you don't yoink the Dodric, I think you definitely want to yoink this defender instead and play some important cards behind it. Yeah, the point gap is definitely not too bad for Lord-Triss. Definitely respecting this bleed, not worrying too much about setting up his coins and such. Just going for that shock immediately definitely seems to be paying off. Now Wangid has to make the decision. Does he want to play the Snowdrop, play the leader, or are we going to take it to a round 3 where Lord-Triss definitely has a lot of power left if you don't bleed it?
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, committing the Snowdrop is scary, because again, if you miss the Mage Assassin, your deck's sort of in a fail state. Yeah, Wangid just doesn't want to take the risk. We're just going around 3, saving leader, saving Snowdrop. We've not lost our card here, so...
And Lord-Triss just being able to take this with a dip here is really nice. Trying to get as much carryover out of this as possible. Now the defender is out, so you have kind of a free Fistic. And if you're able to efficiently drill, you could potentially set up a really nice tavern. We'll see about that one.
Yep. So would have found the Mage Assassin, but doesn't really matter now. Golem going back in the deck. Though mulligans probably don't matter very much unless you plan on holding on to the Snowdrop plus leader for a while.
Alright, so yeah, Lord-Triss is missing out on the second poison as well as the cleaver. Those are big cards to be missing here.
For sure. Bloody good friends getting run out there for proactivity. So what is that? Zarth, Thunder, and Golem in deck?
Justice. Yep. Yeah, Lord-Triss is missing out on a lot. No Justice, no Cleaver, no second poison to potentially complete one of those tall removals.
Well, looking at the hand, what can we do here? We could... Don't really want to Thunder a Bloody Good Friends. There are plenty of better Thunder targets.
You could Triss it?
You could try to
Triss
Triss
it saying there is no justice, and I haven't seen it yet, and you might not be able to pull it off. Maybe you're thinking there's a justice in hand.
Just heat waves it.
Yeah, heat wave seems alright.
It lets him play unit list for this turn, whereas if you play the Triss, you sort of want to use the leader, because there's still a 5 in the deck.
Yeah, and this means we have to go for the bank, hopefully find a cleaver or the justice Sparkle, but okay, the
all
Sparkle
the
on
way
the
at the bottom.
We just syndicate things.
We have seen the banks giveth, and we have seen the banks taketh away today. The Witchfinder on top, followed by the Furco on the bottom. What a card.
That is not ideal, and now you're kind of lacking the coins. Like the coin, you do have your leader, of course. Other than that, the coin generation is mainly going to come from Professor or the Fistic, but is there any good Professor target here? Not really.
Kurt coming
There's
down,
no divider
targets.
in Wangid's hand. Yeah, this Kurt. This Kurt is not happy.
Yeah, look at the
Wangid is, though, I
Lord-Triss's
think.
hand. It's all removal. There's no proactive points here. Like, you can pretty easily count how many points Lord-Triss has. So there's the 14 in play, plus 6 from the Professor puts him to 20. 24, 29? If Wangid just holds leader plus Snowdrop, I don't think Lord-Triss can win.
Oh wow, that would be a play. That would be a play.
Oh, I guess it doesn't quite work because you have the Magus S and then the Ophan you have to worry about.
You do have to get those cards down as well, so the Snowdrop does make sense. So you would just go for the full leader, take all the value you get, and boom, that's a lot of points on the board. Of course, the Golem here goes back along with the leader pay off target.
26 to 12. We can use
I guess we do.
Yeah.
Have a Professor target. The Morvan is not too bad.
Yeah. Can use the Tunnel Drill to line up a Tavern Brawl too, potentially.
Potentially. Maybe the Morvan would get boosted later?
Maybe.
If it gets damaged.
Possibly. Could maybe also like play the Horson and then leave open the option to click Horson, play Brawl same turn. Be a little tricky about it, maybe.
Yeah, that is definitely an option. Alright, let's see what is going to happen. Of course, Lord-Triss is threatening the non-existent poison, but either way, Wangid couldn't really do anything about it, so he's just going to let it sit, and he's like, oh no, Snowdrop, and then he'll find out, boo, it's not going to get removed. Lord-Triss is bluffing, just wanting the coins, probably for the Tunnel Drill. But yeah, let's see if Wangid does want to get rid of the Crown Splitter pocket here by thundering like a Furco.
Nope, just gonna thunder the Kurt for max points. Not worried about the Crown Splitter pocket.
Lord-Triss probably gets one of the best drills possible. Ideally, I think you want to get this Professor down first. Yep.
Here it comes.
On the Morvan, as suspected. Getting out the ship as well.
Pretty sick bounty value. Could try to use the Endiga out of range, but there's 9 coins plus 3 in the line pockets as well. You're not going to be able to keep that out of range.
Brawl. Yeah, you probably just have to say this Morvan goes.
Yep.
You could try. Hovering over the Triss there, maybe we see a play on that. The Triss isn't really removing anything anyway. The Sarth is really, really tall, so maybe you don't want to play that just yet. Yeah, Yen coming out, trying to protect this Morvan first.
Makes sense.
We do have the damage from Horson Jr. there, as well as a Tavern Brawl potentially. Of course, when this drill comes out, it will get removed. So yeah, taking this Horson Jr. is just kind of safe here. Getting rid of all these small units.
Yeah.
Maybe hoping for a Tavern Brawl.
Good for the Tavern Brawl. Choosing to spend there rather than saving the coins for the drill. Little surprised.
There isn't really a way to boost the Morvan. If you would have hit the Morvan there, shouldn't the coins kind of be enough from the drill then to get rid of
I was
the Morvan?
expecting Horson to hit the
maybe
Morvan.
It wasn't. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't, but I believe.
I mean, it would go to 9, right? And then drill trivially kills it?
Yeah.
I mean, this way you can, I guess, Tavern Brawl the 5 into the 15 and still maybe do it. You'll have 6 coins, 7 coins, 8 coins. 8 coins does it.
Yeah.
Well,
Tavern Brawl should come down then.
I think so.
But this is definitely just a lot of points from Wong ID.
Yeah, still a lot more coming down here for sure.
Yeah, like, ideally you could drill the Triss so that Wong ID doesn't really have a target to damage on his side of the board, or even on his side of the board, and would have to go for like an offensive one. Okay, not even going for the Morvan.
The Morvan doesn't die now, right?
I don't think so.
Well. Well, here's
You're really just wanting to... is there anything that could come out of your side of the deck that would actually save the day here? I'm not really sure about that one, but obviously you're wanting to drill the Triss.
Yeah.
Why
So,
saving this is the last play, but why didn't it go on the Morvan, the Tavern?
Well, I mean, it's more points on the Brawl, but this way... I don't know.
Can you...
I think you're just short, right?
Yeah. Oh, you can... Yeah, you can damage it with Horson, of course. Self-damage, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
And then you remove the Triss, making sure that there isn't really a build for its target. We completely missed that one, I think.
That one was
we
missed,
left
for sure.
the Horson out of the equation, but
The
here it
Horson's
is,
very
of course,
important.
damaging.
Okay.
So,
Now everything makes sense. It's all coming together.
yeah. So now we see what Lord-Triss was up to this whole time and wanting to play the drill as last day. Also,
So wait, you can...
Of course, he got the max value there on the Tavern Brawl.
Yeah, you kill this, and then Vilgefortz has to be used offensively.
But he could find like
or
a cleaver. He could find like a cleaver though, and...
So wait, Wangid could play for the tie, or he could offensive Vilg and try to win?
I think you offensive Vilga and try to win.
You know there's a cleaver in deck.
Yeah, well, a cleaver comes out for 1 point. And it's a 50-50. It's either the Jackal or the cleaver.
Oh, I guess,
out,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's just 50-50 to win, 50-50 to tie.
Well, he can choose. What does he want to do? He's probably checking out the deck and seeing everything that was played here and seeing that he probably will know that he gets a 50-50 once he takes it. Wow.
That was a cool turn.
Right, he took it. Yeah, you got it. You got
Thank
it.
God.
All right, there we go. 50-50 on the cleaver. Really well played by Lord-Triss there in a situation where he really was missing so much, but wow, what a game. That was the winning line for Lord-Triss, and he did it really well. Unfortunately, 50-50 was not in Lord-Triss's favor, but rather Wong ID's.
Happens sometimes. Can't win all your coin flips.
No. Alright, so the Hyperthin is through for Wong ID, so I believe we have Squirtle against Syndicate as the last potential matchup.
Indeed. Sounds right to me.
Sounds right. Cool.
Get this.
I'm gonna take the golem there. Nice. Wow.
More?
Games.
So many.
We are... Oh, the kegs. Shoop is working overtime. He's spoiling us all.
At least he didn't take Marilorn.
Uh-oh. All right, we seem to be jumping into
Game number 4? Number 4?
Yeah.
Or this 5? No, I think this is 5. Win, 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 win. Yeah. Game 5.
Game 5. This will be the deciding game. Scoia'tael on red coin versus Syndicate on blue coin. Interesting matchup. Let's see how it goes. Lord-Triss, of course, has cut the freak show, meaning that there might be one engine that you don't really get rid of that you otherwise would, but the Tavern Brawl might come in clutch. We'll see if that tech choice will end up helping or hurting.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to play around Tavern Brawl with your Alzer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much always going to be given some kind of a brawl.
And that's another mystery factor in this whole game is, of course, the Alzer. What is it gonna roll?
Is it gonna play for 25 points or 15 points?
Are we gonna find it in the first place? Because as we did mention, there is only one way of finding the Alzer, and that is Necromancy. So can you find it? I don't know. You have to be skilled. Wangid was skilled in the last game, even though he did find Necromancy in round 3. But he did eventually find it.
Both these players are pretty skilled. That's why they're in the finals of the qualifier. Trying to qualify for Gwent Open number 4, which is going to take place in October.
Yep, the last Gwent Open before the big Gwent Masters, which will be, of course, all of these pro players who have been playing for the whole season. Or a lot of season, the competitive season, been playing a lot. This is the ultimate prize, making it to the Masters, where the prize pool, of course, is not bad at all. So, getting some cash for the work you put in is definitely nice. So this is an important game for both Lord-Triss and Wangid.
Yeah, of course. Everyone wants to qualify for the Opens, as qualifying for the Opens not only has a nice cash payout in it, but also winning the Open will qualify you for World Masters at the end of the year, as you were talking about, tournament with an even bigger prize pool.
Yeah, exactly, and this is your golden ticket to the Gwent Open, and of course, Gwent Masters, the grand prize. If you are not working hard on the crown points race, you can definitely make it through the Opens. Of course, Lord-Triss and Wangid, no strangers to the Gwent Opens. And so this is going to be a good one. Yep, decider of the series.
Here we are. Game number 5, Lord-Triss on his lined pockets up against Wangid on his precision strike. Going to be trying to get these 4 power units to stick against the Syndicate Menace with all their damage.
Okay, yeah, it's looking quite decent for Lord-Triss here so far. Oh, that boat needs to go.
Ooh, okay. So, got Bloody Good Fun, got Professor, got Horson, got a bunch of options for cleaning up some of those pesky Scoia'tael elves.
Lord-Triss opting, for the Cleaver's Muscle, of course, with the shield, making it not a super easy rebuke target to go for, and a nice Crown Splitter to have it stick on the deck if you really want to play out a Justice. For example, in round 1. Of course, you do not want to lose on even. I think both players here definitely value round control.
So wait, you're saying losing on even is bad?
It tends to be, but we've seen interesting things happen in these Opens where we do see losses on even. We do see people coming out of those, or yeah.
Okay, yeah. I get it. I'm taking notes.
Traditionally, though, it might not be the ideal situation to be in.
Bloody Good Fun. You're gonna take out that first sorceress there from Wangid. Trade an up provision there.
Nice round 1 spender there, and yeah. There's a card that I'm not seeing in Wangid's hand. Can you guess which one I'm missing?
Does it start with O and end in Mancy?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you hate to see it. No Aneromancy in round 1.
Elven Scribe there. Coming in at 6 power, a little bit harder to deal with. Would require the Horson. I don't think that one's... Whoa, it is a high enough priority for him to use the Horson on it.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised by that.
I can see it just, like we've mentioned, both players really value round control in this matchup, and if Lord-Triss can get it by spending a horse and Junior, I think he's pretty happy with that. But we actually do see a pass, interestingly enough, after playing it.
Yeah, I just would have thought that you wanted to save the horse and deal with one of the more important 5 provision threats that like actually grow the gourd, but I guess not.
Just saying it's worth it then. Yeah, I mean, consider you do have a Sea Jackal. That's nice to spend round 1, but yeah, looking at this hand, you kind of have to play out a Justice or any other gold card that is kind of like later game for Lord-Triss, so... But spending a horse and just to not lose on even is not ideal, potentially.
Expensive. Here are the orbs. Sets up the graveyard for the Alzer. Why did you just play?
Yeah. So maybe Lord-Triss was saying there is no way for you to make these 10 points and knows that Wangid does have to play more and can't really bleed with an Alzer. Or can he?
Yeah, I don't know.
I
guess we're going...
Ideally, you want to bleed with Squirtle.
Yeah. Well, Alzer in hand, no Aneromancy yet.
Yeah, I actually, on second thought, that is a really nice pass from Lord-Triss. Because this puts Wangid in a bit of a tricky position, right? If you don't bleed... You have Syndicate with first say in round 3, ready to ping all of your engines out with the Tunnel Drill play.
Yep.
Or you bleed 2 cards down and just hope for your Alzer to be completely magical. To do that, though, you need to find an Aeromancy and pull that Alzer back into the deck, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. This matchup seems... very difficult from the Squirtle side. Not really sure how Wangid wants to maneuver this. We are going to the long round 3. Sort of expected, as a Lord-Triss. Gonna develop some coins before passing. Probably gonna play this Fizztech. Yep, up to 9, and maybe one more card just to make his bank as good as he can make it. Yeah, Jackal gonna come down to finish that up.
You have a lot of other spenders for round 3. All right. Wow. I wonder if Wangid would have actually taken the bleed if he had an Aeromancy instead of that Alzer and kind of just hoping for like tempo. But it's gonna be tricky to do that. Having to go down 2 cards there in round 1.
Finds the Donka. Well, let's see what these mulls are gonna be. Probably doesn't want to have the Alzer in hand, even though the Aneromancy is still missing.
Oh, will he find the Aeromancy in round 3? Will he find it? I'm scared.
Seer goes back, picks up another Seer.
Another Seer.
Seer goes back, picks up a Sentinel.
Right. One more mulligan.
Gets a rebuke. Okay, well, no Aneromancy. Alzer in hand.
Yeah, that means you can't protect your Alzer, which... can be rough. Can be really rough.
For sure, for sure. Now, if he were to just run out the Alzer, what's the answer for Lord-Triss?
Yeah, considering you saw the Horson in round 1, it's definitely a play, because Syndicate takes a bit of time to set up. I guess Philippa is a little bit too threatening, though. Yeah.
That would be a problem.
Philippa would be a problem.
Well, Donka coming down. Gonna be given some buffs, as Lord-Triss chooses to not answer that. Opting to just play the Bloody Good Friends and get a Crown Splitter down. Probably setting up for the Cleaver next turn.
Yep, Cleaver a really nice timing here. You set up your crown splitter pocket ready to drill whenever you find necessary, whenever you get most value out of it, meaning removing the engines. Because as soon as you play that drill, it's going to die the turn after. Squirtle does have that much control with the rebukes and the leader.
Oh, yeah.
Wonder what this bank is going to go on. Is it looking for Philippa potentially to steal an engine? Definitely not a bad bank.
Yeah, could be. I'm interested in what Wangid wants to be doing here. He's mousing over the sorceress. Yep, just gonna play out that bronze.
Spit it out already.
This could be a nice professor for Lord-Triss. He could also take the professor on the Dunka, but of course not getting the coins then from that.
Looks like we're seeing the professor come out. Doesn't want to give any more value to that gourd. Doesn't want to see any orbs come out of the sorceress either. Sorcerer's Living is one of the ways that Alzur can get value as well.
There is still a necromancy, of course, that could resurrect this sorceress, but Lord-Triss should have some ways to answer it. Either finding a Philippa from bank, you could go ahead and drill.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a crime card as well there in the graveyard that you could tutor out.
Maybe, yeah, the drill early without a crown splitter pocket doesn't feel like what you want to do, but yeah, it might be forced. It might be forced. Here's the Alzur.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah.
Does this get tavern prawled? Ugh.
Could he get Philippa? I feel like Philippa would be pretty nice answer, but you do have to bank. Although you can.
Like this is just perfect, right?
Oh right, of course.
Yeah.
That's cute. Wangid just not playing around the tavern brawl. I wonder if he forgot, kind of like I did.
Oh, this boat going melee is so sad.
But Cleaver can save the day. Of course, spawn more of those crown splitters if you have to.
Yeah, but now you don't want to put the cleaver next to the Bloody Good Friends, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you miss some boost value from his Intimidate ability for sure. You could play Furco first, you could play Justice. But then you also miss the Intimidate value, I guess.
Yeah. It could be worse. It's probably just a point, but it might not even... maybe you still just put it next to the Bloody Good Friends. Maybe it's just fine. I don't know. Here's the Necromancy. Gonna res one of those sorceresses. Does this pull the orbs? Yeah, this looks like this pulls the orbs.
Stop gurgling like that.
Hopefully able to protect this sorceress for some value. I don't believe we've seen any poisons from Lord-Triss, so there's definitely that threat, but at this point, you have to go for something.
Yep.
And it's nice since Lord-Triss hasn't been able to set up the cleaver just yet. I think we're going to see a Philippa now from the bank.
That makes sense. See if we can find in the top few cards.
Mm-hmm. Would be a pretty value pull there with the vitality on the sorceress, of course.
No, looks like we're just going for Furco.
Okay.
It's a course blacksmith out of the Justice. Has a crown splitter pocket all set up.
Yeah. Alright, with this sorceress going through, saying, alright, you can have it.
Just wants to make sure that it's not able to make an orb, it seems. Keeps it at 5. Sitting on 5 coins in the bank.
Father here can pull, I believe, a Rebuke or a Isengrim's Council into...
One of the Seers? Is that all that's left?
Yeah, one of the Seers. Seer or a Dryad Sentinel, but I don't think you want to go for that one.
Seems less than optimal. Okay.
Yeah, for
Here
sure.
we're taking a rebuke on the damage spender.
Getting it out
Trying
of
to
here.
get this sorceress. Oh, nope. Just gonna click the sorceress now. I guess now the drill is more of a threat, so take the rebuke, kill off the other spender. Shock's still
Okay.
sticking around.
Shock is still chilling. No need to boost him just yet. But you definitely have to be a little bit wary about the rebuke that might be coming down from Wangid's leader. One leader ping and the rebuke, so I might want to play around something like that. Philba on top here.
Top card, Philippa. The bank once again giveth.
Yeah. Lucky back there for Lord-Triss, stealing this Dunka over some of the sorceress to have the extra 3 damage, or just, yeah, taking it now. It's really nice value.
Not bad. 1437. Cleaver can still come down next turn in the middle of that Crown Splitter pocket.
Yep, Wangid could assume that maybe Lord-Triss has a bit of a painful draw. Maybe he didn't find Drill, maybe he didn't find Cleaver. Maybe this is the only pocket he could consider going for the leader charges to remove the Furcal. But for now, it's just going to be a pact.
Yep, just packed up the sorceress there.
Yep.
Still has that Treant in play for the death blow on that in-hand rebuke as well. Here comes Kurt.
Kurt is out and about, maximizing hopefully the drill value that Lord-Triss will be able to put down. Like we said, there is a rebuke, there is a heat wave, there's a lot of stuff to remove this drill once it comes down, so you just want to make sure you get the max amount of value on it.
This drill is gonna be big.
Yeah, it is going to be big. Yeah. Just syndicate things, just drill things, drilling its way through the tree.
Well, there is a Purify available in the foul. We're gonna
True.
make the drill a little bit less big. Saves a few points.
Value Purify indeed for Wangid here.
Yep. 3143 Gourd, Heatwave, Nature's Rebuke, and some leader charges for Wangid. Lord-Triss with the Smuggle, the Cleaver, and the Tunnel Drill.
Instead of going Rebuke on the Jacques, probably wants to go Rebuke on the Drill, saving the Heatwave for whatever will be tallest, which might just be the Jacques or Cleaver. We don't know yet. But yeah. Also not wanting to play out the... Okay, but here's the drill. Just taking the value it gets. There we go.
Yep.
And that is just a
48.
huge point gap. And of course, killing the treants, this rebuke is not getting any death blow value, unfortunately. But it has to come down to remove it to stop the Lord-Triss from further drilling.
Here's Cleaver. Still making use of that Crown Splitter pocket.
Yeah.
What just happened?
Oh.
Someone hit F4.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh no, don't leave the match.
It
Just
is
hit F4.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Alright. Well,
there we go. It's okay. Now just hit F4.
We're back. Alright, but yeah, this definitely just has been Lord-Triss's game. Of course, we switched perspectives here. I think
yeah,
there was a spectator flip on the which perspective we're looking at. But yeah, this Cleaver is just gonna come down, really squeeze out the last juice that Lord-Triss has, and with this heat wave, although the Gourd's gonna be big, it's just hard to match. I think that pass in round 1 really did it for Lord-Triss here.
Oh, Lord-Triss just played the Cleaver last. But
yeah, it is a bit interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe playing around the heat wave?
I guess. Yeah, well, I mean, it's plenty of points. I guess there weren't a
Plenty
lot
of
of spenders.
points,
They're
it's a
just
big
guaranteed
board.
the spender.
Yeah, you're guaranteed your spender doesn't get removed by saving it for last. And that seals the deal. We have Lord-Triss taking it, and really nice pass there in round one, putting Squirtle in a bit of a tricky position. Wangid not being able to bleed there in round two is quite huge. But yeah, Lord-Triss is through to open number 4. And yeah, really close series, and Syndicate proved out to be the winner for this one.
Yeah, the Syndicate versus Squirtle matchup looks like a beating. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do from the green people side of things, but
Yeah,
ugh.
I think you're supposed to bleed, but like even 2 cards down, even if Wangid would have opted to bleed, he needed to have the narrow into the Alzer, I think, to hopefully high roll some really solid points and tempo past Syndicate. I think that's what you really want to do. As Squirtle, but like really efficient pass from Lord-Triss in round 1, putting Wangid in a tricky position.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, I think that is going to be wrapping up the stream here. Congratulations to Necrotal and Lord-Triss for qualifying for Open number 4 today. Before we sign out, is there anything you want to shout out, Silly?
Yeah, I would like to shout out, of course, Claymore for, working behind the scenes, providing really nice graphics, making sure the tournament runs smoothly. Of course, CD Projekt Red for the awesome competitive scene and all the qualifiers, as well as the opens that we've been able to watch. And yeah, thanks, Trinet, for being an awesome co-caster. It's always really fun casting these with you, so thank you.
Cool. Glad you had a good time. I had a great time as well. Anyways, it's been fun. Let's call the stream here. Thanks for watching, everybody, and see you around.